Hello and welcome to my review of the Legio Custodes Allarus Terminators. This set will cost you £30. That's a fair bit of money. It's, you know, £10 per model if you want to look at it that way, but it is £5 cheaper than the 3 Death Guard Death Shroud Terminators if you also want to look at it that way. The set is a really great. I'm really pleased with it, especially if you get 2 sets as well. It saves you money, definitely saves you money if you want to build the kind of unique characters as well. I bought 2 sets. This is the normal sort of Allarus Terminators that I built with one of the sets, and with the other set I built a shield captain, this guy here, a Vexillus Praetor, and just a normal Allarus. Now the squad size is 3, so there's no reason why I can't have you know, 2 with spears and 2 with axes in one squad, have the Vexillus and then have the shield captain. So already you've got 2 elite choices and an HQ. Just in the space of 6 models, which is pretty decent, really. But let's talk about these. So these ones I've kitted them out with the axes and ones with the spear. No reason why I couldn't have him as a shield captain, to be fair. But yeah, these Castellan axes, pretty decent. I'll go through all the rules and things with them. I like the grenade launchers on their wrists as well. Lots of detail with these models and with this kit. It's a really great kit. The only sort of downside is poseability. You can't really pose these that well. The arms, you can't really pose them all that well. It doesn't give you that much freedom. The heads you can, and that's about it. You can change the axes to the spears. You can sort of move these arms to another model, sort of. It's a bit tricky. And the legs are in exactly the same pose. So if you do get 6 of these, you might be able to tell, but I think there's enough going on at the top to sort of distract you from that. But yeah, if you're gonna get 9 of them, then yeah, you're gonna really struggle to make them kind of unique, which is a shame for an army that prizes or should prize itself on being unique. You know, each one of these custodians is a lion, they are individual, and I just would have thought Games Workshop for these custodian guards, this new custodian release, they would have made them more unique in that respect, because that's the whole sort of mantra. They're an individual sort of fighting one-man army type of force. Anyway, moving on. So this is another Allarus Terminator that I've just put with a spear, Guardian Spear. Looks pretty decent with the big Misericordia on the back. Very shortly I'll be doing a comparison with other Terminators, including the Aquilian ones, so stay tuned for that. And this is the last one. He's just pointing, sort of looking in the direction he's pointing, but it's difficult to sort of get these models just right because you can't move the hips at all. That's another downside. The legs and the front arm and the rear arm are all sort of go together as one. You don't have any rotation of the hips, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, and there's the axe as well. So before I do size comparisons and things with Terminators, I'll just show you all the spare parts. Okay, so if you build these Allarus Terminators like they are, just a standard squad of 3, then you should be left with all of these parts. There are a few of these. Well, there's 2 Guardian Spear sort of blades with the bolt guns on. There would be 1 Castellan axe, because I've used 2. There'd be the Vexilla itself, which is quite tall, but it's obviously not as big as the one in the normal standard Custodian Guard squad box set, I have to say. Then you're left with this kind of shield captain, loin area, loin armor, and another haft. I think this is the one where he sort of got it upright, but you can have 2 of those. This is the one that I used on the other shield captain, and some bare heads. You have 3 of those bare heads. I haven't used any bare heads on the Custodian Guard at all. A couple of tassets, the shield captain's shoulder pauldrons, which are a bit more fancy. They've got the eagles. They're the ones I used for this shield captain on there, and a Misericordia, and then a bigger plume that I also used on the shield captain too. So they're all the spare parts that you'd get with the set. You don't get a huge amount. but it's still more than, say, like the Death Shroud Terminators, put it that way. Okay, so size comparisons. Let's just compare them with Trajan. He's here. Let's compare this dude. Trajan is very thick. I mean, he is bigger. He's on the same size base, but he's a bit bigger with the feather and the axe and things like that. Just a bit more of a presence, I'd say, for him. But that's compared to a normal sort of custodian guard. I do actually have Ixion Hale here. If you wanted to sort of compare Ixion Hale with them, he's nowhere near finished painted. As you can see, there's still a lot to do. I mean, the marble's looking all right, but yeah, still a lot to do with him. Comparing Ixion Hale with Trajan, actually, Trajan's a bit bigger. The axe certainly is bigger. But yeah, this is Horus Heresy 40K, but I thought I'd make that comparison. Next to the Aquilon Terminators, here is an Aquilon Terminator here. Obviously they're on the 50mm bases. They are bigger, the Aquilon ones. Just got a bit more thickness, and they've got the same sort of leg armor plates as the Contempt Dreadnoughts. Look, if you can see there, same sort of armor, same kind of aesthetics, and the shoulder pauldrons are huge compared to, you know, the Allarus ones. So that's that comparison. People wanted me to compare them to you know, normal Terminators. I've got Tartarus and Cataphracti armor here. They're not painted, unfortunately, but yeah, they absolutely sort of dwarf, you know, in thickness, the Cataphracti Terminator armor. Hopefully you can see that. Definitely more of a presence as well. And then compared to the Tartarus as well. I mean, the Tartarus does look very similar to the, you know, normal sort of Contempt Dreadnoughts. That's what it's based on, like a tactical version of that armor. But there you go. So Allarus definitely, although they're not as big in thickness as the Aquilon, they're definitely the biggest one so far. I've got a normal sort of Terminator here as well. Normal sort of first millennium Terminator, so they are taller and more imposing than the current sort of Terminators. I will be doing a completely separate video about these Terminators, like a Terminator special, just to show you the size comparisons a bit more in depth. Compared to aggressors, I mean, aggressors are, I mean, look at the aggressor compared to Cataphracti, bigger, I'd say. But yeah, compared to Allarus, there's not much in it, but the Primaris are, you know, a lot taller anyway. So yeah, not much in it there with aggressors. So aggressors are quite big, really, if you think about it. And then next to Death Guard, I've got a Blight Lord Terminator here. I thought this would be a good comparison. Very similar. Death Guard, the Blight Lord are a bit taller, and they are quite thick, but just goes to show you, you know, you get 5 of these for the, I think 30 or 35, I think it's £35 actually, isn't it? So £5 more gets you 5 of these, £5 less gets you your 3 Allarus. And then next to the Death Shroud, I haven't got all 3 with me, but I've got 1 of them with me. I thought this would be an interesting look. And yeah, the Death Shroud are bigger. Same bases, so, you know, same 40mm base, but the Death Shroud are a bit taller than even the Custodian Guard Terminators, which yeah, is quite worrying, really, when you think about it. They're that much bigger. So I thought that would be a good comparison to make. Like I say, I will go in depth with all the Terminator range in a separate video. Final bit of size comparison is just with sort of standard Space Marine. So I've got standard Space Marine here. Yeah, barely goes up to the sort of gorget of the Allarus Terminator, and then the Primaris. Primaris are quite tall. Primaris is as tall as the Allarus. It just goes to show you how big these Primaris Space Marines are, you know, compared to the best of the best at the moment on the 31st millennium. Okay, so this is my part of the video where I will talk to you about all of the rules for the Allarus Terminators. You'll find these in your brand new Custodes Codex in the Elite section. They are a power points cost of a 13 for 3 of them, and a match play points cost of 70 points per model, and then you've got to buy their weapons too. So for instance, the grenade launcher is 0, so you won't have to pay for that. But if you want to equip them with the axes, they're 14 each. Weapons, so the Castellan axe is 14 and the Misericordia is 4, so that's 18 points. So you're looking at 88 points per one with the axe. If you're choosing the Guardian Spear, it's 2 points less than that. So that is your 86 points. So almost 90 points each, fair amount of points for these models. So let's talk about their stat line. So their movement is 6 inches, it's quite decent for something in Terminator armour. Weapon skill is 2+, ballistic skill is 2+, and their strength is 5. Their toughness is 5, they have 4 wounds each, their leadership is 9, and they have a save of 2+. The unit contains 3 Allarus Custodians and can include up to 7 additional ones, so you can have 10 of them. And they're all equipped with a Custodes Axe and Ballistic Grenade Launcher, although you can replace any of the Custodes Axes with Guardian Spears, and any model may take a Misericordia. So you don't have to take the Misericordias if you don't want to. So as I said before, the Ballistic Grenade Launcher, it's a good weapon, it's 12-inch range, it's Assault D3, it's Strength 4, but it is AP -3, which is horrific, and its damage is 1. So nice little ranged weapon they've got on them. The Custodes Axe, which mainly, well, those two are equipped with, that's got 2 weapon profiles. It's got a ranged profile and a melee profile. So the Custodes Axe is the same as the Guardian Spear in shooting. It's range 24 inches, rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP -1, and a damage of 2. Same as the Guardian Spear for shooting for that one. In melee, this is where it differs though. The axe adds +3 to the strength, so you've then got a strength 8. Its AP is -2 and damage is D3, but the Guardian Spear only adds 1 to the strength, so strength 6, but you're getting that 1 extra AP at AP -3, and again the damage is the same at D3. Misericordia, again, strength of the user, which is 5, AP -2, damage 1, and each time the bearer fights it can make 1 additional attack with this weapon unless it is also equipped with a storm shield. So nice little bonus there. The abilities, they've got Aegis of the Emperor, which we know means that it gives them a 5+ invulnerable save. It's a bit poor that they don't have a 4+ standard invulnerable save. You know, when you look at a model like this, which is, you know, a lot smaller, Cataphracti armour, 4+ invulnerable. Hey, there we go though. So they've got the 5+ invulnerable, same as a normal Custodian Guard. Slayers of Tyrants. When models in this unit pile in and consolidate, they can move up to 3 inches towards the nearest enemy character, even if it is not the nearest enemy model, so long as they finish this move within 1 inch of an enemy unit. That's pretty decent. It means that they can pile in, get close to that character. From Golden Light. During deployment, you can set up this unit in a Godstrike pattern teleportarium array instead of placing them on the battlefield. At the end of any of your movement phases, they can teleport into battle. Set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. So they can basically teleport, which is great. You know, and if they're 9 inches away, that means that they can still fire, they'll be able to fire those ballistic grenade launchers, no problem. And when you've got, and if you roll well, and you've got 9 strength 4 but AP -3 shots coming in, that's going to do some damage against your normal sort of Space Marine equivalents. Their keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Custodes, Infantry, Terminator, Allarus Custodians. So they're pretty good. You know, they've got the 4 wounds, they've got 4 attacks. You know, just comparing them to the Custodian Guard, they have 1 more wound with a wound of 4, and I suppose that's what this Terminator armor kind of gives them. They have 1 more attack with the attacks 4. They have a better leadership. But yeah, it would have been nice to see them with you know, an invulnerable 4+ save maybe. If you have all of your Custodian Guard as a full battle forged army, then your invulnerable saves are reducing by 1, so then you're getting your 4+ invulnerable anyway, which is very decent. Comparing them to the Wardens though, Wardens get the same number of attacks, but they just have 1 less wound, but same saves. However, they do get Blinding Oath, so instead of them teleporting in, they can ignore some damage on a 6 though, which isn't the best, especially if they've only got 3 wounds. So there you go, that's everything I wanted to say about the Allarus Custodians. What do you guys think of them? Have you used them in game already? Have you teleported them in? Do you use 3 or do you use 6 of them? Please do put it in the comments below, it'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.